Wait, before you think gardening stops when summer ends, stick around because what I'm about to show you will completely flip how you see your garden. Most people shut down their plots come autumn, but here's the thing nobody talks about. October is actually when your garden becomes a money printing machine. And I'm not exaggerating. Stay tuned. Hey there, and welcome back to Earthly Gardening. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us because on this channel we're obsessed with one thing: helping you grow more food, spend less money, and do it without losing your mind in the process. Whether you've been gardening for decades or you picked up a shovel last month, this video is going to change your approach to fall completely. If you've got a channel you love, you know the deal. Hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss what we're doing next week, and let's dive in. Here's what most gardeners get wrong about October planting. They think cold equals death. They look at the temperature drop and assume nothing will grow. That's literally backwards. October isn't the end of the gardening season. It's the beginning of the best season nobody's paying attention to. Think about it this way. When everyone else is buying expensive supermarket produce all winter, you're literally harvesting fresh vegetables from your backyard. We're talking consistent, reliable crops that'll feed your family for months. Let me break down the 7 crops that absolutely thrive when you plant them this month. Crop 1. Spinach. Let's start with spinach. Now I know what you're thinking. Spinach sounds boring. It's not. Here's why October spinach is different. When you plant spinach in spring, it bolts immediately because of the heat. It gets bitter. You get frustrated. You give up on homegrown spinach forever. But October spinach? That's a whole different game. You plant it now, and the cool weather actually triggers the plant to produce tender, sweet leaves all through winter. We're talking about the juiciest spinach you'll ever grow. This isn't the limp stuff your grocery store has been keeping in plastic for 2 weeks. Here's what makes it even better. You'll get multiple harvests from the same plant. Plant it now in early October, and you're harvesting fresh leaves in 3 weeks. Then you keep harvesting and harvesting into January, sometimes February depending on where you live. That's 1 packet of seeds giving you months of salads, smoothies, and cooked greens. The trick nobody mentions. Plant spinach in loose, rich soil with plenty of compost mixed in. Give it partial shade if you're in a warm October climate. Water consistently. That's it. You're not fighting against nature anymore. You're working with it. Crop 2. Kale. Next up is kale, but not the way you've probably grown it before. Most people plant kale in spring, watch it get tough and stringy by summer, and think kale is just naturally unpleasant. Wrong again. October kale is the kale they write songs about. When frost hits the leaves, something magical happens. The plant converts starches into sugars. Your kale becomes sweeter, more nutritious. The texture becomes tender instead of that rubbery thing you might be picturing. And here's the financial part that'll make you smile. 1 kale plant, properly maintained, will produce for 6 to 8 months straight. You're looking at spending about $2 on a seedling and getting hundreds of dollars worth of organic kale. That's not gardening. That's printing money. Plant kale in October, give it full sun, and don't be afraid to harvest leaves from the bottom continuously. The plant just keeps producing. The colder it gets, the better your kale tastes. There's literally zero reason not to have kale growing right now. Crop 3. Lettuce and mixed greens. Lettuce and mixed greens are the fast money of fall gardening. Here's why everyone should be growing this. In summer, lettuce is basically impossible if you live anywhere warm. It bolts before you can even think about salad. October changes everything. You can plant lettuce now and harvest within 30 days. Sometimes less. The beautiful part? You don't need much space. You can literally do this in containers on a patio. Fill a 5-gallon bucket with good soil, scatter some mixed green seeds, keep it moist, and boom. In a month, you've got enough greens for weeks of salads. The flavor is completely different from grocery store lettuce too. It's tender, crisp, and has actual taste. Your family will notice. They'll probably ask why store-bought lettuce tastes like plastic after they try yours. Crop 4. Broccoli and cauliflower. Now we're getting into the serious crops. Broccoli and cauliflower planted in October give you heads in December, January, and February. This is when these crops cost the most at the store, which means this is when you should be growing them. Here's the game changer that people don't realize. Broccoli and cauliflower actually want cool weather. They were never supposed to be spring crops for most of us. When you force them in spring, they get stressed, they're smaller, lower quality. But October planting? You're letting them do what they naturally want to do. They develop slowly, steadily, and produce these massive, dense heads that are absolutely perfect. The only thing you need to pay attention to is spacing. Give each plant about 18 inches to 2 feet of room. Yeah, it seems like a lot now, but those plants are going to expand. And you want air circulation to prevent disease. Also, here's something most people don't do. Add calcium when you plant. Either use eggshell powder worked into the soil or add a bit of lime. This prevents tip burn on broccoli and keeps cauliflower clean and white. Think about this practically. One broccoli plant might give you a main head the size of your fist, plus dozens of smaller side shoots you can harvest. At the store, that's $15 to $20. You grew it for pennies. Crop 5 carrots. Carrots grown in October are sweeter than any carrot you've ever eaten. This isn't my opinion. This is chemistry. Cold temperatures trigger the plant to produce more sugars as a survival mechanism. Plant carrots now and you're harvesting tender, perfectly sweet roots all winter. The cold doesn't damage them. It actually improves them. Some gardeners even say the best carrot harvests happen in January after a hard freeze. Here's the practical side. Carrots are ridiculously easy. Loosen the soil deeply, scatter the seeds, keep them moist until they germinate, then basically ignore them. They'll pull moisture from fall and winter rains. No supplemental watering is usually needed. You'll be eating carrots when carrot prices are highest at the store. That's either a money-saving situation or a money-making one if you're thinking about selling extras to neighbors. Crop 6. Garlic and onions. Garlic and onions planted in October spend the entire winter developing underground. They're setting up for spring growth that'll blow your mind. Garlic especially is a set-it-and-forget-it crop. You plant individual cloves in October, they establish roots before winter dormancy happens, then spring arrives and they explode with growth. You harvest massive, beautiful heads of garlic in late spring or early summer. 1 pound of garlic bulbs breaks into about 40 cloves. If 50% grow, you've got 20 plants. Each plant produces 1 bulb with 10 to 12 cloves. So from 1 pound of seed garlic, you're getting 20 to 240 cloves of fresh, homegrown garlic that you planted months ago and basically ignored. The math is simple. Store garlic costs dollars. You grew it for cents. And it's fresher. And it's better. Crop 7. Radishes. Last but not least, radishes. These are the overlooked crops that grow so fast you'll think something went wrong. Plant radishes in October and you're harvesting in 3 to 4 weeks. That means you could plant 3 successive batches and have radishes constantly. They're crisp, peppery, and amazing on salads. The reason people ignore radishes is because they seem too simple. But that simplicity is the point. You're not spending time fighting disease or wrestling with complicated care. You're getting fast, reliable harvests that remind you why you started gardening in the first place. Radishes also prepare your soil. They're a root crop that breaks up compacted earth. Plant them, harvest them, plant something else in that spot in spring. Your soil is now better. Before I finish breaking down these crops, if this is making sense to you and you're thinking about your October garden right now, drop a comment below. Tell me which crop you're most excited to try. Seriously, I read every single comment, and I love hearing what you're planning. Plus, every comment helps this video get recommended to more people who need to see it. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's a perfect time. We're putting out new videos every week with strategies that save you money on food. Hit that subscribe button. It costs nothing and keeps you in the loop. Here's why I made this video today. I've been gardening for years, and the one shift that changed everything for me was realizing that October gardening is not some advanced technique. It's actually easier than spring gardening for most people. The weather is more stable. Your plants aren't fighting heat stress. You get harvests right when store prices are highest. Your family eats better food for less money. That's the earthly gardening mission right there. October isn't the end. It's the beginning. And if you've never planted in October, you've been missing the easiest, most rewarding growing season of the year. So here's what I want you to do. Go to your local garden center or order seeds online today. Pick at least 3 of these 7 crops. Start small if you're nervous, but start. Commit to October planting. Hit that like button if this video helped. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you see everything we're putting out. And comment below with which crop you're planting first. I'll see you in the next video. Now get out there and plant something.